far, Veki still opts for both Barry and heal, whereas Gnaul has the heal and the exhaust. He's really trying his best to maximize his damage while mitigating Veki's damage. So I would like to see Veki go on lethal tempo again.
Yeah, that would be really great. Yeah,
that would be really great.
That would be so great. He needs the extra movement speed since his passive is not going to be working with anybody, as he won't have a support next to him. But so far, he's been performing exceptionally well. He's going to have a good advantage, and hopefully, before level 6, he's able to pick up that Hex Drinker to make him unkillable.
Yep. Pre-level 6 is where the Kalista has a greater chance against a Syndra, simply because Syndra does not have enough damage yet. It's hard. You can let scatter the weak, but your full rotations won't be as painful. That unleashed power, it kind of, makes up for a big part of Syndra's total damage overall. So Veki has to press on in the first 5 levels and hopefully push Gnaul far back to give himself the upper hand.
Absolutely, and Veki is not going to be dying anytime soon unless he makes a mistake here. He's got barrier and heal, and Gnaul understanding that Veki is going to be able to outplay him in terms of using that exhaust, opts to go for an even more defensive spell himself. But it just feels that if Gnaul isn't going for the kill, Veki has the advantage overall.
And Gnaul has to go for that all-in. Level 6 is where his trump card lies. He has to rely on that one single use of unleashed power, and hopefully it's enough to kill off Veki, or else he'll be out of options than to just take spears in the face.
Yeah, and that's going to be really unfortunate. I personally feel Veki has such a significant advantage in this matchup, especially since Gnaul is going to be on the defensive for so long. Is Veki able to farm it up until he gets the Hex Drinker? The moment he gets that, it's pretty much over. And my guess is that he's going to go through the secondary tree, the sorcery secondary tree, where he gets the null shield if he gets within lethal range. If I'm correct, 15% of HP, where he gets the extra magic shield, and that's going to be huge, especially against Gnaul, because that's pretty much a second Hex Drinker.
And Veki is just trying his best to dodge all the Dark Sphere with his martial poise. It is kind of easy to dodge once you know the timing, once you know the radius. It takes a while for the spheres to be landed, and if you time your martial poise correctly, you will be able to dodge it. And Veki already hitting level 2 and crashing the wave this early under Gnaul's tower means that Gnaul will have such a hard time clearing out the wave with that lack of damage, and it just gives Veki so much room to chunk down the tower and hopefully get some spears onto Gnaul as well.
Absolutely, he needs to position himself in the right manner as well. He's staying really close to the health room. Hopefully it comes back up so Veki can pick it up real quick before Gnaul, but Gnaul understands this and is going to zone him away. Veki decides to, oh boy, this is a really interesting position. Level 3 to level 2 here.
Wrong position for Veki for now. He pops the early heal. Scatter the weak will land onto the Kalista. The barrier will get popped. Veki still holding on to his own barrier. Will the spears be enough? Last tick, not enough. Veki survives that, but Gnaul is near to his health pack. Veki won't be able to make it in time, and both players playing on knife's edge.
Woo, that was a really good call by Veki. He understood that he had
scatter
the
the
red
weak.
stack.
Oh my goodness!
It clips him! No! Gnaul comes up on top here. Scatter the Weak just clips Veki, and the next Dark Sphere kills him. Gnaul takes the first game,
That was
proving himself to be the greatest.
exactly. Gnaul really putting this challenge, shoving it into Veki's face, and Veki gladly takes it. He knows that he himself is good on Kalista. He has the experience. He has won so many matches using Kalista alone, other than Cassiopeia. And this is a time where he truly proves that he is the better Kalista player.
Hopefully this does come under becomes a win under Veki's belt, and therefore bringing it to a game 3 where it's all or nothing. But right now he's on the ropes. Veki just has to recuperate for himself, take this win, and bring it to that game 3 to stand a chance to get to that grand final.
And Veki defeated Norway by the strength of his teeth with the Kalista mirror matchup, and now might just come for the revenge kill. Now both players have the same summoners. It all comes down to who pops the summoner spell first, who stacks more spears, and so on and so forth.
Oh, it's going to come down to who can harass better, and it seems that Veki's going to get that brush advantage. Gnaul didn't run fast enough. It looks like Veki's going to have the first auto
Bất cầm Lauren và hai cánh.
Makes the mistake of walking too close to that brush.
Seems like Gnaul playing it really safe, staying under turret. He knows that he is late to move, so it's just best to stay on the turret. But Veki, with that brush control, still has quite a bit of pressure on Null.
Absolutely, and Null actually decides to go for press the attack, which is rather interesting because that means he's going to have more burst in comparison to Veki, who's going to be able to chunk him down really, really quickly in these early stages of the
putting
game.
it to good use. Little Tempo will press the attack. Close enough.
Ooh, doesn't actually get the Ren onto Null though. Really unfortunate. Null managed to get out of range before Neki could pull those arrows out.
Veki now it's just a slow farm fest, waiting for the level 2, waiting for the PS. Veki missing his first CS. And on a Kalista matchup, if you miss a single CS, it means that the enemy Kalista will have a substantial lead over you, simply because you can reset off of Rens.
Absolutely, and that's going to be huge. They want to get as many stacks of their arrows into as many creatures as possible, because once they hit level 2, it becomes interesting because they can transfer those stacks, all of those stacks, onto your opponent if you can land that piercing, if you can land your Q onto them. So that's going to be really, really huge if they could do that, because that's a lot of damage coming in.
It's just the patience of both players. Veki is trying to look for the angle to transfer the Ren stacks, and the PS will land onto Veki, but Veki will miss his.
Ooh, still pretty even on both sides. They haven't used their pots yet, and
Veki
keeping in time with those health runes perfectly picks it up, and Null just not realizing doesn't react in time. Gets a couple of good hits, but Veki is going to be able to outsustain him in lane because of his runes so nearby at his base. So that's going to be really huge for him.
Veki actually in the lead now in terms of CS. The PS is going to be sidestepped by that martial poise. It's just a nail-biting situation right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's already got one arrow on him. That means he just needs to get that rend off, and he does it real slow. It doesn't deal a lot of damage in the early stages of the game. He needs to get more stacks on him.
Just waiting for the transfer. It doesn't go through. But Veki will reset his own rend. But the issue comes now because Null has just pushed Veki under his own turret, separated by a single minion wave. What will Veki do in this situation? Lands the spear, rends it out, gets the reset again. And he's just playing this so cautiously.
Yeah, and Null's doing a really good job finding openings to get that transfer all over into Veki, but so far it seems pretty even. Both sides are doing really good job playing this Kalista matchup here. Null doing such a good job in just closing the gap and dodging all of Veki's pierces and putting himself in a good position to get back into this game.
And Null knowing when Veki is going to use that pierce, just times his martial poise correctly. Now he's chunking Veki down with his own pierce. Veki having quite a hard time under his own turret. The wave will be resetted, but that means Null has the upper hand in terms of farm. Misses that pierce. Veki trying to go all in. He really is going for a press. The attack is proc and slog as well as lethal tempo. Veki first person to rent out his spears, but Null, will he able to get his off? Not quite. The spears fall off.
Ooh, that was a really good trade by Veki. The moment all 3 stacks were on top of him, he started to use his martial poise to get away from Null, and then he wasn't able to get those Ren stacks on, which was really good.
He knows Null has no pierce. He'll use his instead to get close to the enemy Kalista. Lethal Tempo will go on a 10-second cooldown, so Veki is just waiting for that window, but he gets a spear in his own face, and Null.
Ooh, this is really intense. Both sides are just doing their best. They're trying to harass each other, but every time they're just missing so slightly in prediction of where they're going to jump with that martial poise. It's getting really frustrating to watch as well, because they're just getting so close and just mitting by the skin of their teeth. But Veki is doing a good job. He's building up such a huge wave. Maybe Null can push for an all-in, but he's running it pretty low on mana, and Veki wants to take advantage of that.
And Veki is doing so. He transfers the rents and rents it out. And Null being the victim under his own turret right now, trying to secure as much CS as he can. Veki seemingly in the lead, but Null has one CS ahead of Veki. At this point, we won't even see a recall from both players because they are just trying to get the enemy to make a mistake or eventually win the farm war.
Absolutely, and the mistake's going to be huge here as
Becky.
Naul, he might actually get hit by the Pierce. He dodges it! Oh my goodness, he's able to dodge that, and now he's going to out-sustain Naul as he doesn't have enough mana. Now Veki could easily just shove this wave under his tower and keep in lane a little bit longer until he uses all his mana, then decide to go back. That's when he's going to have a substantial item lead over Naul. But the question is whether he wants to do that, take the risk. He decides to take his first back. Ooh.
Naul actually going for a defensive item, and that the passive cold steal will actually mitigate some of the damage from Veki because it slows down your attack speed when you hit the wearer. And Naul just trying to go full on defensive, but Veki has an answer, gets the tier 2 boots. You can jump further with the martial poise. You mitigate even more damage from the basic attacks, and now it just comes down. This itemization is going to make a whole lot of difference.
I personally feel like Veki is at a huge advantage here stat-wise because Tab Eyes are so good in these mirror matchup because it blocks so much damage. It negates so much damage from the side of Naul if he decides to go for this all-in. And I personally feel like it's just going to be slightly turning into Veki's favor as he also has a longsword as well. So stat-wise, Veki should be winning these fights.
But we also had to look at the farm as well. It's 70 to 67. It could be anyone's game. Veki lands the spear on into Naul. He rents it out for some chip damage, resets it. Now Veki just trying to clear out the wave, not wanting to let it crash into under his own turret. He's doing his best. The Pierce lands again. And now the recess will start to come in. This might just end in a farm fest. Veki going all in. Has a lethal tempo. The Pierce actually misses. He is forced to retreat. But he rents out the spear, and Naul won't be able to do his part on the Ren.
He got quite a few stacks on Veki. It's surprisingly enough, did Veki already make it out of the range of Naul's Ren? He probably should have just Ren'd it regardless, but he got a bit greedy and decided to hopefully get a reset on it, but he doesn't, losing so much damage and forcing him to pop so many pots. Now Veki here,
Veki
he might actually go for the
going
all-in once
for
more.
round 2. They have summoners, but Veki lost vision of Naul, and he loses that trade. The rents will come true, and it's 83 to 78. This might just end in a farm fest.
Oh boy, it seems that the cold steel is doing a lot of work here. Veki needs to get to it, but the piercing's coming through. Oh, he manages to get past it. Veki is going to chase him a little bit more. He actually gets it. He gets the red.
He gets the red now. Will the red reset? Veki, does he have enough damage? Both of them have something to spare out. Hugh and Barry gets power. Veki drops low. He has to retreat.
He doesn't get the Ren. He doesn't get the Ren. This is really unfortunate. Veki has already used his heal. Barrier is still up on the table, and Naul still has heal. Will it be enough, though?
He should have used his barrier to match Naul, but now Naul, he has the advantage in CS and in pressure, in terms of laning pressure as well. 90 to 88. Veki might just lose because of farm. He has to find a way in, but Naul is playing it super safe, just trying to stack up those Ren stacks. He can win either by kills or either by kills or either by CS 94. This wave will just make Naul the victor of the grand finals. He's staying under turret, and Veki, no.
Oh, he missed one.
Oh, he's in trouble.
That's going to put him away. He's going to be 2 CS off if he doesn't get every single one of these. Oh, he misses another one. That's going to be unfortunate. 3 more CS here. Veki has a good chance.
Oh, Veki, he resets the Ren. He has to go in.
He has
right
one more
now.
CS. He gets it. He gets it. Veki is able to pull it off. Oh, my goodness. Wow, his Pierce was able to pick off the 3 caster minions at the back and quickly shoves into the lead.
Be taken lightly himself as well.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be the most exciting game of the day. Well, besides the grand finals between Singapore and Vietnam, but these 1v1s, they're just so nerve-wracking. You really can't tell who's going to come on top, especially since after last game. That's really just proof that people from behind can move themselves forward.
And and pretty sure both players are also very nervous as well, just shaking in their boots, trying to compose themselves for this one final game, which the longest it can go is approximately 10 minutes, which normally it doesn't even reach. So they have to be really composed, try to not get overwhelmed by their own nervousness.
Oh, who's it gonna be? Veki or Naul?
Will it be the AD carry from Kuala Lumpur Hunters or the mid laner of Young Generation? Also coming back, both of them have international experience as well. It's time to put that into play.
This is real League of Legends. This is what we've all been waiting for, as both these competitors are going to be loading up onto Howling Abyss. And it's the final showdown. Veki versus Null. Malaysia versus Vietnam in a Cassiopeia on Cassiopeia mirror matchup. Let us begin.
This is where we settled the rivalry that we have for so long against Vietnam. We dropped the grand finals last year, didn't make it past the group stage this year, but they still won V1s. And we can see Null seemingly winning the early trade, just sneaking in that auto attack after the Twin Fangs. It actually makes quite a difference.
Absolutely, it does, and every hit is going to hurt, especially this early into the game. And just look at some areas; both of them are poking each other at an even pace. Both, gets an extra Twin Fang in without a hit back. Veki can come back from this, no problem, but that noxious gas is going to do so much damage to that wave. He's trying to push it up, maybe to get that level 3 faster than Null and go in for that all in once more. But one pot has already been used by Veki. He understands that noxious gas does so much. It puts grievous wounds onto your opponent, allowing him to really just negate the amount of healing done by that potion later on if he decides to go for a level 3 all in. But Null hits level 3 first. This is going to be bad if he gets caught in that miasma.
And Veki just trying to sidestep as much as he can. He throws out his own miasma, but Null will have his up if needed. And Cassiopeia is also mechanically complicated to place maybe because you have to keep moving around between each spell cast, and Twin Fang with such a low cooldown, you have to juggle around between casting Twin Fangs and moving at the same time. That is not easy, especially under such a high stake situation.
Absolutely, and it really comes down to miasma here, because miasma, there's a minimum range to it. If somebody gets too close to you, you can't use miasma in any given situation, and that's going to be huge. But if you land it, there is such a huge payoff to it. So Veki playing around vision here, playing really careful. He's out of potions now, but Null significantly ahead in the potion game. He's 1 CS, 2 CS by now, and Veki just using his mana, not getting that miasma. He's hoping to clip Null in one of these engages.
And Null has the experience advantage, but as soon as the wave crash, Veki will be hitting level 5 first. He has the CS advantage. Will this be a CS farm fest again? Seems like so far they're trying to get as much farm as they can and hit that level 6, where Petrifying Gaze might just be the skill that determines who
he
wins.
gets caught a little bit.
Lands, Veki goes in for the aggression, but Null is a level ahead. Veki again forced to retreat.
Beautiful understanding of how minions really affect the amount of damage he does, and Null doesn't want to get too close here.
Oh, no.
Gets hit by the noxious gas. Veki, he could keep going if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to risk it as the noxious gas is back up for Null. Both sides playing at such a high level here, but Veki is going to be out-sustained. He might be pushed out of lane here. That's going to be bad for him, because that puts him in a position where he has to use more mana in comparison to Null, who is sustaining so hard in lane.
And Null still has 1 pot in the inventory, means that he can definitely out-sustain Veki. Veki forced to back off. Will Null try to cancel? He actually goes for it. He lands the noxious gas. Veki being delayed for the recall, and that is a setback that just put Null in a huge lead.
Oh, but that's really unfortunate because Veki has planned his escape really, really well, because he did wait for a siege minion to take his back, kill the opposing siege minion, and now it's going to be pushing into him, and Veki is going to be able to pick up all that CS without the tower taking away too many minions, and Veki's already back into action to catch up with that CS lead that Null has created for himself. But Veki doesn't even want to let it happen. He's going to tank as many of these minions as possible, set it at a nice slow push into his side, and that's going to really put him at a good lead.
Veki's a bit behind in CS. Null will be able to get back into lane to catch up with the cannon minion as well. So Null still has the lead. He went for the Catalyst of Aeon. Then Veki couldn't afford. Veki just goes back for a second purchase. Maybe he has his own Catalyst of Aeon as well. That mana refund and health that you get when you get damaged by the enemy will make a significant difference if they go all in.
The question is whether Tear of the Goddess is actually worth getting at this point of the game, because Null is going for such raw stats. Veki is going to be able to consistently pump out damage without being able to sustain mana in lane, but he also took the Nullifying Cloak, which gives him that extra magic resist. Oh my goodness!
Becky might just try to go there, going all in on each other's face. Petrifying
Oh,
gaze
he
will
does-
miss from now. Becky turns around at the last second. Now Becky has the upper hand. He has the ultimate. Better not mess this up. He just hit level 7.
I mean, he needs to thin out the wafers. That's a lot of minion damage. Those caster minions really can start putting a dent in your life total if he keeps it up. So he has to thin it out and hopefully catch Null somehow with that ultimate.
And Veki will be leading the CS after these 2 custom minions. He will pick them up as well, but Null has regenerated to full health. The summoners will make a difference, but look at Veki. He has so much mana he can afford to go in onto Null if he wants to. He decided to push forward down to half health. Has the summoners, has the petrifying gaze, waits for Null to turn around. Null pops the heal, he gets pushed back. Veki loses his own heal as well. The summon area actually cancelled the recall at the very last moment. Veki, he will recall as well, and my goodness, this might just come down to a farm fiesta.
Absolutely, and the wave is in the perfect position for Veki. It's going to slow push into him, which forces Null to come out of his base even further away from him, and that's going to be a really, really good position, and Veki is going to have such a big advantage once those minion reinforcements start crashing in.
But Null will have his petrifying gaze up in approximately 30 seconds. The ultimate will be ready for another 1v1 duel. The question is, will they go in? Veki seems like he wants to go in onto Null. Null gets grounded by the Miasma, but second Doran's ring, literally raw stats. Veki has the positional advantage. Will he try to push forward?
He should take this. He should honestly take this. He's running out. He's playing defensive. He wants to get
Oh,
his
the
own help,
pyramid
but
gaze from Veki misses. Oh no!
he misses his own ultimate, and that's going to be really bad. He should have taken the fight much, much earlier so he could pick up Null's health rune so that he could sustain a little bit longer in lane and put Null at a significant disadvantage here and forcing Null into this all-in here. Null's ultimate is already back up, and this is going to be really, really huge for him. Veki only has a slight CS lead. He needs to make this lead a lot bigger so that Null is unable to catch up, and maybe he could win off of CS.
But Null is zoning Veki away. Veki has to keep track of Null's ultimate. He has to know that the petrifying gaze for the enemy Cassiopeia is available, and he's being chunked down super low. Null still has his pot being popped. Null misses his second petrifying gaze, but he's going all in. He wants to kill. Veki pops the barrier. Null just going all in. Null will be your champion for the 1v1s, taking down Veki in a Cassiopeia matchup.
Oh my goodness, he made the mistake of turning back even after getting that extra movement speed. And he just miscalculated one twin fang. VCS Null takes it away and is crowned your new king of the 1v1 solo matchup tournament.
My goodness, this